Okay, we're ready to start using TinkerCAD now. So you want to go ahead and log in and end up on your opening page right here. In the future, your design you make will appear on here. You can just click on Tinker this to edit it. But as you're starting fresh today, you want to click on Create New Design. By default, it's going to give it a weird name, in this case, Funky Blad. You want to change that to Mr. Donnelly's Puzzle. You're going to be working on one of the puzzles you've probably seen already, and that is the first one that I did. We want to go ahead and modify some things before we get started. First, we'll click on Edit Grid. And by default, it uses millimeters. We want to change that to inches. Now, I give ourselves a 12 by 12 workspace. Okay, there we are. Now, a few things to note as we start here that I don't want to see you do. Up top here, you'll see a Minecraft setting and a Lego setting. I don't care that TinkerCAD has these settings. We don't use them in class. For something you want to do, that's fine. For this project, no, you're not using it. First thing to do is go ahead and bring in a box. We need to edit the box first off. Length, width, and height right now are all 1 inch. You want to go ahead and select that and type in 0.75 all the way around. Color right now is red. It's a solid. It's not a hole. That works for us. You want to be careful with these white squares here. They will start changing the dimensions if you're not careful. So when you move it, you want to be sure you don't click on those, because if you do, it's going to cause some problems. Now I moved it off to the side there. We'll go ahead and move it off the side a little more. Press Control, and then press Control C to copy it. Come back here to the center, press Control V. We'll bring in 4 to start out with. 2, and then we want to move it so they're all in line. 3, making a 4 cube puzzle piece. 4. And move it there. Now I want to select one piece, hold down the Shift key, and end up selecting all 4. We want to treat this as one piece, not as 4 cubes. So we want to go up to our status bar here where it says Group, or Control G, and click there. Now it's all one piece. If you look at the puzzle that I have, and on the little worksheet you have on one of the pages in your notebook, this piece is actually black. So go ahead and click on Solid. That allows us to change the color. I'm going to change it to a very, very, very dark gray, just because it's a little easier to see on here. Now to move it, you'll notice we can rotate it. In this case, I will go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to move it over to the side here, because that piece is going to come up later, but we're not going to use it yet. Now we'll go ahead and make a second piece. It's going to look a lot like this. It's going to be a little different though. Control V to paste in another piece. The first thing you want to do is make a V shape. That over, bring another one, that one ends up here. Now we're going to stack some cubes up on top of here. We'll paste in one more. Put it so it's inside that first cube there, but then you want to see this little black cone. That black cone will allow you to move parts up and down. In this case, we want to move it up, and you want to watch carefully how high it's being moved, because we're going to move it 3/4 of an inch up. There. Now, because we moved this cube, it's going to be a better idea to copy this cube and then keep pasting from there. It's on the right level, rather than try to copy one in, then move it a lot more. As you just saw, we used the black cone to move this up another 3/4 of an inch. And now that piece is all set. This little cube up here in the top left-hand corner is called the View Cube. That will allow you to move around and see lots of different views of your shapes. I went over to this view because now I can select all 5 of these pieces at once, group them, and change the color from red to what it actually is, which is white. I'm going to use a light gray for this one. That's actually in the floor. I don't want that in the floor. Now I'll push this one out of the way. I'll go ahead and keep making pieces. I'll go back to our original piece here and copy it. And then over here, we'll start bringing in more pieces. I'll go ahead and make the yellow piece now, which is essentially a T shape with the one piece above one of the cross pieces. Or move this one up and then over into position. And that piece is all set. As you see, once you get a hang of this, pieces start getting put together in a hurry. That's why I have you practice on my puzzle before you start on yours, because I want you to be very comfortable with this before you even start thinking about your puzzle. Okay, our next one we'll make will be the red piece. This one, remember, is a W, essentially, with a piece above it. Let's move it up 3/4 of an inch. Good. So let's grab those 6 pieces, group it, and it's already red, so we can just push that out of the way. Now the green one. Green one's a little different. Green has 3 in a row. Piece down here. Oh, crud. Piece up here. This piece is offline. And then a piece up here that actually is above the end. Okay, I will select all those 6, group it, and it's going to be green. So that's my puzzle, basically. This piece now is extra. Erase it. I'm going to use a mouse scroll wheel to move out a little bit. I'm going to select all 5 of these pieces, copy them, and paste in copies of them down here a little bit. Because now I'll go ahead and assemble it. This piece that I mentioned before, the key to assembling that puzzle is knowing red and white go together first. I think that's it right. Yeah, that's in right. Okay, next we have yellow. I'll go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees and then place it here. It has to go up 1/4 of an inch. Okay, there's that one done. Now green. Green, I have to do quite a bit of rotation on. First off, I have to rotate it 180 degrees this way. As you see, you can manually type in the number, which sometimes is easier. And then I have to rotate it 90 degrees this way. It's way too low. Let's go ahead and move it up. Got it. And black, we need to rotate quite a bit. 180. 180. Now we can put it where it belongs. This one should drop right in very nicely. And that is how you assemble a puzzle on TinkerCAD. Because that's way off, I'd rather have it in the whole project. There we go. There's the 5 pieces of my puzzle, and there it is assembled. Right now, what you're seeing on the screen, that is TinkerCAD assignment 1 is to finish the model of 5 pieces of my puzzle. But I would also do this because TinkerCAD assignment 3 is going to be to assemble the 5 pieces of your puzzle. Number 2, you just have to model the 5 pieces. Number 3, you have to assemble it. So that's so assembling my puzzle is actually very good practice for going ahead and assembling your puzzle. But this should give you a good start on how to use TinkerCAD.